wanted to do is show you 3 different types of stakes with different tools. And the reason I wanted to show you that as a project, because it will get you the feeling of the knife. Each knife may cut the wood a little differently. You'll have different angles you have to go in with the wood. Different woods will have a different feeling as well. So just carving a point can show you a lot about that knife. So I thought this would be a great chance to show you 3 different types of stakes that you can use for staking down a tarp, for a tent, or guidelines, for many different reasons. But it also shows 3 different knives and 3 different, I should say, different classes of knives that will do 3 different tasks, but they're all good bushcraft knives. So what I'm going to do right here, since this is a chopper, one hit I can chop that off. That is going to be my catch for the cordage that I use. Now all I have to do, chop it again. That is the benefit of having a knife that you can use as a chopper as well as a carver. You see, I cut this off as well with just a couple chops. Now I can start carving a point in this. This is a very simple design. You carve a point on this side and you just touch up the end. I'll show you how to do that as well. So what we're going to do is just start carving this point. Now we have the point made. I'm gonna chop this off so it's flat. I want to just take a little bit off. And what I want to do is round over the edges of that. And that's going to help prevent splitting when I actually tap that into the ground. So that there is a simple, very fast stake that you can make, and this works well. I use them all the time. And it doesn't take much to actually do this craft. I did that with the prototype of the Survival Bush Point, and now I'm going to grab the Sigmora by Sigma 3, and I'm going to craft another style to show you. This type here, you can use a straight stick. And a lot of times with these smaller knives, people will use a saw for doing some of the work for the project. Now this here is a very light chopper. As you see, it can take away some of these little limbs and such. That one's being stubborn, but it's not going to matter. So what I need to do with this one is I just want to clean it up a little bit with these limbs, because that's going to catch when I try to pound it into the ground. So you want to take off all the limbs and such to make it as smooth as possible. And whenever you're working with knives and sharp tools, you have to remember safety. I was going to do a safety video, But I'm gonna let you research that yourself for the tool that you're using. I think it'd be better that way. What I've learned for safety over the years is just watch where your knife is gonna go if you slip. Never cut towards yourself, and if I'm pulling out this way, where's my knife gonna go? If I'm going like this, what's gonna happen if the knife slips? So I'm not gonna go over that like I said, but knife safety is using common sense a lot of times, and I really recommend that you always check into the safety of the tool that you're using. It can prevent a lot of accidents. So what we're going to do first is sharpen this end. Okay, now that I have a point on this, what I can do now is round the top off where that has this 90-degree edge. I want to cut on a 45 and round that off. Now this one here, this type of stake, I've used it for many years. It's the first type that I've used. And all you have to do is put your knife on a 45 on both sides and cut a little notch in it. Now that you've started that, what you want to do is cut another and another until you have a ring right around this stick. And what that ring's going to do is going to catch your cordage when you tie it. And since it's sitting in a groove, it won't pop out, and that's what you use for your stake. You tie your guideline and such to this groove. It's another very simple stake. Now the third stake, I'm going to use an old knife that I've used and gotten many years ago. The handle had broke. I made a custom oak handle for it. But this here, I wanted to use to show that you don't need the best knife out there to do bushcraft. This is what I started with. Tools just like this. This is an old hunting knife. It has good quality steel in it. That is a must. You want good quality steel, but you can get that at a budget price. So look for good quality steel and look for a tool that will do the job that you want to do. Doesn't have to be a huge knife, doesn't have to be a small knife. It's what you feel is comfortable for you. Now this one here, same thing. I want to clean this up. I'll take this bark off. Okay, I've got that cleaned up. It's going to be the same thing. I'm going to make a point. So you can see this is just an old hunting knife, but I can still take fine shavings with it, or I can get a nice bite. Works great. I think I paid $30 for it, and it's done me very well. Actually, I think I only paid $20 for it. You can see it makes short work, and I've got a point. Now this design is a little bit different. You can do it two ways. So I'm going to zoom you in and show you what I'm talking about. So with this step, what you're going to want to do is put an X right across like this. So you have an X in your wood across this way and across that way. Although you can do it by pounding your knife in or pressing your knife in, or you can take a saw and cut it in there as well. As soon as I get that started, so I'm going to go through about 2/3 of the way in. Now this side, I'm going to do it again. So I've got that X. Now that I've got that X in there, right back behind the X, I'm going to start cutting inward. Using the tip of my knife, right to the V that we now have made. Now you can see that I've just taken that all out and we now have a V in here. What I want to do is bring this in and underneath this V and cut that out as well, so I have somewhat of a hook and a groove in underneath this. So there you go. You have 3 different style of stake for staking out tents and so on. Now, I made 3 of them with 3 different knives. This one, like I said, very budget. Has some good steel in it and a very good knife. Carried it for years. Sigmora. That one is a custom knife with top quality materials and works very good as well. This one was made by a master blacksmith and forged from a file, 1095 high carbon steel. It works very well. So in choosing your knife, remember that you should have good steel and the size, the shape, that's your own preference. See what you like. And myself, from learning with what I had, I think it actually made me become a better woodsman and bushcrafter, because I can grab almost any tool and within 5 minutes I can use it very well, because I have started with stuff like this, in my opinion. Using stuff like that there, you have to learn ways of getting around and doing things. But if you start with a pro knife like this, you're still going to learn a lot of skills as well. So it's all up to you. I hope this helps, and hope people can get something out of this in the way you choose your tool and some stake ideas. Thanks a lot for watching.